Hello, colors. Welcome back to Viva Barca, and welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on the latest developing stories. We start with Raphinha, as it has been reported that the Barcelona's 60 million euro rated winger is currently on the radars of Saudi Arabia. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Secondly, talking about Arda Guler of Fenerbahce, it has been reported that Deco's journey to Turkey yesterday to negotiate with the player is reportedly going as planned. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, as we get right into the stories in much detail, please do ensure to subscribe if you haven't. If you are just coming across the channel for the very first time, you are highly welcome. Consider liking the video and please watch the video right up to the very end. Raphinha is one of three Barcelona attackers facing an uncertain future at the Camp Nou this summer. Given the club's economic distress, the former Leeds United star name has been touted as a possible departee along with the likes of Ferran Torres and Ansu Fati. Raphinha, though, has not shown much desire to leave Camp Nou. He wants to remain at the club and fight for his place in the first team, even though the forward should have no difficulties sealing a return to the Premier League. However, the Brazilian is now being courted by Saudi Arabia. This has been reported by Ashraf Ben Ayat, who claims even the Saudi Arabian clubs are starting to gauge the possibility of signing Raphinha this summer. The oil-rich nation has been a disruptive force in the European transfer market this summer. Due to their deep pockets, they have been able to lure a host of quality players such as Karim Benzema, N'Golo Kante, Ruben Neves, Kalidou Koulibaly, and most recently Marcelo Brozovic. Even players at their peak are starting to consider a move to Saudi Arabia due to the large sum offered by the clubs. To that end, it will be interesting to see whether Raphinha, whose market value stands at 60 million euros too, is lured by such a lucrative contract. The forward has a lot of clout and is likely to attract a significant salary package in Saudi Arabia. A move to the Middle East could be beneficial for Barcelona as well, knowing Saudi will be able to offer much more than Premier League clubs. This will help the club ultimately make a profit on the Raphinha deal while reducing the salary mass in the squad. However, given the overall impact he has last season despite a slow start, Barca are unlikely to consider a sale unless there is an extraordinary offer on the table from the Saudis. Of course, this should not come as a big surprise. Raphinha has been a great player for us, no doubt. And even despite that, there have been rumors of a possible sale for Raphinha, even though the rumor mill has not been bringing more on that lately. Seeing how important this guy is, and Xavi himself saying in many press conferences that Raphinha should never be sold by Barca as he fully counts on the player for next season. But nonetheless, despite that, the rumor mill still brings in new reports on a potential exit for Raphinha as Saudi Arabia, as they are doing what they have been doing best this summer, disrupting the transfer market, taking away some good players from teams, tempting them with very huge offers. And that is exactly what they want to do now with Raphinha. Of course, this comes just days after Al Ali from Saudi Arabia showed interest in another Barca star in Franquise. So Barcelona being in a very desperate situation, as we could say desperate because we know we are looking for money now, like, I don't know. Barca can be tempted if an enormous offer just comes in. And honestly, as a fan, I don't like Raphinha to leave Barca. But when we look at the situation currently, it won't come as a big surprise if he was to leave, because you know how often these Saudi Arabian clubs can tempt your player with such a huge amount. Of course, Raphinha have always said he doesn't want to leave. He cannot just come from Leeds United and spend just one season in a club that he have always dreamt of playing. We quite remember last summer, Raphinha snubbed Chelsea and a huge offer that Chelsea made, As opposed to Barca, he snubbed Chelsea to Barca. He didn't care about the money. He wanted to play for the badge. He wanted to play for a historically rich club, as Barca have always been, with great reputation. And honestly, from the way I see Raphinha, he's that kind of a guy where even if these Saudi giants come in to sign him, he will refuse to go. Because just for one season, I don't think Raphinha will be prepared to leave Barcelona. But now reports are saying that if the Saudi giants come with a very huge offer, which is so tempting, Barca will consider selling him. So it might still turn out to be that kind of Frankie de Jong kind of saga like last season where Frankie was pushed to leave, but despite United agreeing with Barca for an 85 million euro deal, the player decided that he would never leave Barcelona, and he won that competition with Barca. So I think if Rafinha stands his ground, which I believe he will, then I think Rafinha will still continue to be a huge important player for us next season. Then moving on to the next story of discussion. Fenerbahce wonderkid Arda Guler is a hot commodity in the transfer market currently, with several top clubs across Europe, including Barcelona, gunning for his signature. New director Deco is the one pushing for the transfer, according to reports. You know, yeah, the player has a release clause of 17.5 million euros in his current contract at Fenerbahce. However, along with Barca, Madrid and Milan are also vying for the player's signature, and they are seriously considering themselves as frontrunners for his signing. And hence, Deco flew to Turkey yesterday to hold talks with Fenerbahce and also to secure an agreement for the signing of Arda Guler before Barcelona's other suitors, reports Gianluca Di Marzio. The report states that Barcelona are very serious about the teenage player signing, and they are now making concrete attempts to acquire his services at the Camp Nou next season. Guler enjoyed a solid season last time out, finishing with 6 goals and gave 7 assists from 35 appearances across all competitions. Arda Guler is known for his gifted left foot and his ability to weave magic on the pitch. Considering the talents that this youngster boasts of and the untapped potential he has, Barca see his signing for just 17.5 million as a very good opportunity to pass up. Why sporting director Deco might have flown now to Turkey in order to hold talks with Fenerbahce, it must be remembered that Barcelona will need to make sales first before they can make a concrete offer for the attacking midfielder. As such, the La Liga champions will hope to complete at least 1 or 2 sales at the earliest possible, with players such as Samuel Umtiti, Alex Collado, and Frank Hissi being linked with departures. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time. Bye-bye.